Dear Tom, we recently had a brief exchange on Twitter that went something, okay, exactly like this. I can tolerate his music, but Bieber's morally indefensible stance on abortion makes me furious. He doesn't deserve impressionable fans. I looked up Justin Bieber's supposedly immoral statement about abortion in Rolling Stone. He said, "I don't really believe in abortion, it's like killing a baby." That is entirely fair. He is allowed to be pro-life, and while I respectfully disagree with him, good on him for providing an appropriate answer to a difficult question. But that's not the interesting part. When asked about abortion in cases of rape, he is quoted as saying, well, I think that's really sad, but everything happens for a reason. I guess I haven't been in that position, so I wouldn't be able to judge that. Again, a totally valid and defensible response, that is, to avoid passing judgment on a situation you don't know enough about. So, I replied to you, he hasn't really taken a stance, but generally against, and his jury is out on cases of rape. I fail to see the issue. And you, to my surprise, replied, he said that rape happens for a reason. See, avoiding passing judgment was indeed a wise move on his part, but unfortunately for Justin, he's not exactly known for his public speaking skills, and this time he made the spectacular mistake of inadvertently implying, according to a perfectly reasonable interpretation, that rape victims are somehow responsible for their own rape. But I was even willing to forgive him for this faux pas, saying, yes, the reason is rapist. He's known for his music, not for his intellect or speaking skills. Why bother reading into it? Whereupon you, Tom, got to the heart of the issue when you replied, there are millions of fans who'll see that and blindly follow his beliefs. I'm not reading into it. I'm just reading it. And, as I concluded on Twitter, the issue isn't his opinion, but rather his ineptitude and irresponsibility when it comes to making public statements. Of course, this whole thing made me consider the issue of responsibility of a public figure when it comes to managing their image. You should be able to be yourself and make every brilliant move and every idiotic mistake that you would ordinarily make. But when you're in the public eye, you are under extreme scrutiny, and a lot of people have it that you're no longer allowed to do wrong. If you so much as misspeak or articulate your thoughts in a manner that can be misconstrued, then someone is going to find fault with it, and someone is going to take it out of context, and someone is probably going to be offended, because someone is always offended. And Tom, you are undoubtedly very well spoken. I have a great admiration for your intellect and your well-developed musical skills, and I would write a song with you or kill some time down the pub with you any day of any week. But even if you and I are perfectly affable people, we are both, by all accounts, also rather calculating people, who at least consider the implications and consequences of what we say before we say it, even if we ultimately decide that we don't give a damn and we're going to say it anyway. After all, as I've said before, if nobody dislikes you, then it must be that either not enough people know about you or you're not doing anything interesting. And even if I don't care for his music, I think enough people dislike Justin Bieber that he must be doing something very right. So of course Bieber doesn't deserve impressionable fans. I don't think anybody really does in any objective sense. The best you can do is the best you can do, and when it comes to undeserved impressionable fans, I'd rather have an idiot have them than a genius. Contrary to popular opinion, stupidity does have a limit, and that limit is malice. Therefore I am, as I often do for people, going to cut the kid some slack, because his heart's down to earth, even if his head's in the clouds, and in the unlikely event that you or I ever fuck up, Tom, we're going to know how it feels to need just a little bit of room for error. Sincerely, your true and faithful friend,